In this edition of Behind the Scenes with the Atlanta Opera, we present the second part of our interview with Richard Leech, the world-renowned tenor who sang the role of Lieutenant Pinkerton in last season's Atlanta Opera production of Madame Butterfly. In part one of the interview, Richard sang some of his favorite non-opera pieces.
Stormy weather, since my gal and I ain't together. It keeps raining all the time. I introduced him to my darling, and while they were dancing, that friend stole my sweetheart from me.
This second part covers a range of topics from pre-performance routine to opera groupies. We began by asking Richard how many times he has sung the role of Pinkerton.
Pinkerton, I was trying to add it up, and I honestly don't know. It's somewhere around 150 maybe. I've done it my whole career, so which is to say I've done it for coming on 30 years, I guess. Yeah, so I've performed it a lot. I've performed it all over the world at the Met and La Scala and Covent Garden and you name it. So it's always been one of my very favorite roles to sing. I get to play the American, sailor on stage. It's so natural. Puccini was just brilliant at his ability to write in a way that the style did not impose itself on the theater, the opera. It's very natural, and that's why we call it verismo. It's real, and it's the kind of La Boheme's the same way for me. I start an opera like Bohème or Butterfly. Curtain goes up. Next thing I know, the curtain comes down. All I did was wander through it in between. It's really pretty cool. When I was younger, I loved to just really eat before I went into the theater. And now I actually sing better on virtually an empty stomach. So I eat a little something, 2 or 3 o'clock or something like that, and try not to eat a whole lot. Because if you're digesting, if your whole system's working on digesting food, it's not focused where it should be. My only routine I really have is I get to the theater about 2 hours before the show. I lock my door and come out when they say places. So, first time with the Atlanta Opera, and it's just been great. The people are fantastic. Everyone in Atlanta has been fantastic, and it was a really, really nice rehearsal period. Maestro Rossini is fantastic. Bernard, who's on the director, fantastic. We worked together many times. And so it was sort of like family, even though it's my first time here. Got to like that. And this new theater is really nice to sing at. More often than not, I judge a city by how good's the apartment or the hotel I'm staying in, and what's the theater like to sing in. And I'm doing great here. This theater is really nice, really nice. Oh, there are opera groupies. Oh yeah, sure there are. I had several following me around for a while, but not too many. It's not quite like other things, I think, but there are. It's interesting, what opera fans understand that the normal person who goes and sees an opera every now and then doesn't maybe understand is that the reason someone comes and sees Madame Butterfly 4 times in a row or goes to the Met and sees something 8 times in a row is they understand that even though it's a great cast and it's a great show every night, on some nights something else happens. It doesn't always happen, and I can't even really put it into words, but it's magical. And the opera fan understands that they want to be there on that night. They came to see it 5 times because on one night it just sort of went, ooh, and it turned into magic. And that we can't control. It just sort of has a life of its own. It's not that we sang any better. It's not that, it was something we did anything different. It's just that theater magic happened, and it happens with regularity, but an opera fan understands. They come often to sort of catch the magic when it happens. It's really nice.